People of Earth, welcome to this edition 42 of StefZak News, where I will present the upheaval of a fall of another empire, this one on planet Earth. Free people of Earth, sit comfortably and fasten your seatbelts. You are in for a ride. Engage. The Earth is in the midst of its liberation by its people and also by the star people. The extraterrestrial have been taking care of the extraterrestrial problem regarding the Prime Directive. This world was enslaved against their will, even though consent was obtained through trickery. That is why in 2022, the Prime Directive was amended to list trickery as an interference in the free will. The people who have been in charge, the beings from out of this world and of this world, this institution that has many tentacles is dying. It is beheaded. It has been beheaded when the extraterrestrial elements at the top of their pyramid was removed by the Earth Alliance, compound of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and the positive white hats, Earth military. Now what is left the human equation? It is time now that we are stopping calling them, these people, the elites. Their real name, because they are not elites, their real name is the predator class. From now on, I am inviting you to call them as such, as it is their real name. The predator class goes back to way, way far in time at its beginning, its creation, when the Anak expedition, the Anunnaki, arrived on Earth in 372,000 years ago. And Enlil, commander of the expedition, decided to enslave humans to his own profit. But before going there, let's go through the illusions people of Earth have been living in since a few decades now. Of course, the manipulation dates back way, 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 way back in time, but everything increased in intensity because the apocalypse, the revelation of the truth, was arriving soon on Earth, the liberation. So everything has gone wild and mad this last decade, especially since the Nebu, the Orion group, signed a treaty with the MJ-12 in 1955. And the Orion group was working as the alliance of the Six with the Sikaar Empire, the reptilians from Alpha Draconis, who had an arrangement, a collaboration with the Dark Fleet, the Fourth Reich, the Nazis in space. Well, all of these people signed agreements of collaboration with the deep state that was already in place, but then it was extended to this part of the equation. And let us see first how we have been manipulated on this planet. Werner von Braun, former Nazi who worked with the deep state in the US under Operation Paperclip, as many of his peers have done, just spilled the beans before dying and talked about a series of psychological operations that would be put in place in emergency in case if humanity would wake up and try to take back their sovereignty. The most incredible creation of them was the Operation Bluebeam. I like myself to call it the Operation Bluebeam because it has been and it will not be. People of Earth have awakened. They woke up. There's been so many whistleblowers that have exposed the Operation Bluebeam. So what it is? It is faking an alien invasion and a salvation. By staging with the help of holographic projections in the sky, as well as retro-engineered crafts in the possession of the government. They would fake an alien invasion and people would be really, really bound down in fear and follow the orders for survival. But the thing is that after this invasion, the deep state would have offered a salvation by other ETs who would seem to be nice, but who would in fact be just either Earth militaries of the dark factions or real extraterrestrials, part of the dark alliances. You know, as I explained many times, that what we call Nordics, it's a compound, it's so vast. There are so many species of Nordics and races, human races in the universe, many look alike. And it's not because you are talking about Nordic aliens that you are talking about the good side or the bad side. You need to know who they are and who they associate with. That will tell you. Who they associate with will tell you who they are. Altair, Tal Shiar, or Pleiadians. You do not know. Or Alpha Centaurians or wherever. See their associations and I will tell you who they are. Operation Bluebeam will not occur regarding my sources in the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Because this is of the past now. All the deep state is trying to scare us and bring us a lot of scare scenarios. But people start now to wake up, especially since the last pandemic, you know. So this is for Operation Bluebeam. Talking about manipulation through mainstream media, the deep state also had on its list, and still has, to play the card of war on different levels. War between people, the divide and conquer, creating groups, creating minorities, instead of people wanting to consider themselves as a unique human culture on this planet. They have been divided through the influence of social medias and mainstream medias to divide into communities, and these communities to fight each other. Division is their main tool for control. And war also, they are trying to start a third world war for two reasons. Before dying, they want to destroy this world with them. They want to make sure Earth stays divided. And war is an industry for these people, for the predator class. It's an industry. And they are putting as much as they can in their pockets, trying to really fight it. And we had been warned that they would not give up that easily. And they're not. They are now trying to start a third world war. But the Earth Alliance behind is always putting things in place, keeping things in place, to try to temper and diffuse these attempts. We also have a very good example by what is happening in Ukraine. Anything you heard about the Ukraine war through mainstream media is not true. The great American visionary Edgar Cayce once said, and he has been right on everything else, he once said that Russia, when the end of time comes, Russia will lead the way towards Earth liberation and to build a new world that would be a free world. Russia would play a role in Earth liberation against the dark enemy, against the beast. Well, if you see, Russia has always been ostracized and feared by the deep state, creating cold wars, making Russia the enemy, the baddie. When someone does that to you and says that, put so much effort in telling you that someone is really, really bad. Why? There's an agenda behind. And that was one. There is still one because they knew. Because these people, the predator class, they have devices such as the looking glass devices they can see in the future and prepare the ground before. So ostracizing Russia through mainstream media manipulation, same as they have built horrendous smear campaigns against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, for instance, among many. The deep state were scared of what was going to happen, and they have created a terrible smear campaign against Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin, what he has done in Ukraine, that will never be told on the mainstream media, is he has liberated a territory by cleansing operations, storm operations, similar as those that have been going on until 2022 in the underground bases, the DUMBs, as we call them, in America. Well, he has done this in the Russian territory himself. Clearing underground laboratories belonging to the deep state, and under Ukraine and the neighboring countries of this part of the world, there was so many. It was a headquarter of the deep state there, well tucked into secret underground facilities. I won't call it facility. It was countries underground. It was so vast, with laboratories where they were making up biological weapons and other stuff, and retro engineering technologies. The Oleshki Sands, the start of the war, was there. Why? Why there? Strategic point? Okay. There is an arc under this place. An arc that cannot only be activated by the right DNA. Oh, they've tried. There's even an American base there. There was, belonging to the deep state. And this arc, they wanted technology. So they've built around it, and they could never, ever get it to work. They've dismantled some parts, and I invite you to read Dr. Michael Sala's book about US Army Insider JP. There is the whole detailed operation of contingents of the White Hats, what GP was part of, going there and reporting on what was really there. Putin is a white hat. Putin is a white hat. Same as Trump. And same as other people I cannot name for the moment, but there are many. And more and more. More and more. They are leading this world into liberation. Bravely, facing insults, attacks, even physical attacks. And, you know, they're brave. And I salute their courage. The courage of all the people who go through the smear campaigns and the attacks and still keep on going because they know it is worth it, and they know the result, the end result is worth any price to pay. There has been another institution which controlled you through religion, the Vatican. And this religious manipulation has been going on since Yeshua was brought to earth as a messenger, and he started to wake up consciousness and liberate people, explain to them that the ancient gods they were worshipping, pagan gods, were not the real deal. Yahweh was just a pagan asshole. And he said, your father is not my father. What I can do, you can do it so much more. The power is in you. He said all these things. And since that time, the deep state crushed him. Because they couldn't crush the message, they crushed the messenger, and they twist the message. And they created the Roman Catholic Church. Yeshua wasn't Christian. He was a free spirit. He was a man coming to liberate the humans from an enslavement that he knew was very old and wasn't of good. So the Vatican was built. The Holy Roman Empire, you know, the Roman Empire never crumbled physically, politically, but not really. The Roman Empire survived through special bloodline families and became named as the Holy Roman Empire. Even the name didn't change. This is an empire of evil, of corruption, of darkness. They've turned Yeshua's message into something totally reversed. They made of him a symbol of sacrifice, human sacrifice, inducing people to mentally eat his blood and his flesh every Sunday, crucifying him. This is horrible. They crucify the messenger. Look at what we do to your guide, to your hero. We've won. And the cross is a symbol of the dark ones winning on the message of love. Stop wearing these things. This is the symbol of evilness, of the power of the dark upon the message of love and of sovereignty. Die for our sins. This is all BS manipulation. Fear and kneel, worship, fear God. You know what it is? This is the cult of Enlil. Enlil was an Anunnaki reptilian being, half Anunnaki, half Sikaar, and he had 50% ties and even more, well, 50% with the blood, but even more in his mind with the Sikaar Empire, the Draco reptilian empire, because he was one of them. And his mother, because his mother Tia was a Sikaar queen, Draco reptilian queen. Enlil took the name of Yahweh and ruled through him. Yahweh was a tiny Canaanian god in the tribes around the Israel region a long time ago. And when a tribe from northern Mesopotamia, the Hurite, arrived with their god El, they assimilated they do that. It's historical. Everybody does that. They assimilate the deities of the neighboring tribes to assimilate culturally the tribes. People do that all the time, have done that all the time through history. When you conquer a territory, you assimilate their local deities to enslave people and to assimilate them into your culture. You include their little deities. That's how we do. And how they do. So Yahweh was the name Enlil used to rule over people, over the world, showing his bloodthirsty, criminal character, enslaving, tyrannizing people. And his bloodlines, because there were two bloodlines, two royal bloodlines, royal from the house of Anu. Iyaz or Enki's bloodline, from who Yeshua was descendant, and Enlil's bloodlines, the Rothschilds and all the 13 evil families, and which the popes are also part of. Well, we can now talk about these families briefly. These families joined forces with the Freemasonry, the Illuminati, who were the Enlil faction of dark entities, and who have guided and trained legions of humans, and the bankers, the banking system. Banking system who rule the world, who owns many nations, most of the nations on this planet, and who plays them as pawns against each other, pretending there's a war, but in fact, they're playing their assets to make money, to get funds for their pocket. Most of the war you've seen going on Earth were a chessboard, not even, they were playing their own pawns. They were in charge of both parties. You've been played so much. You've been played so much, But let's move on. The Freemasons. This despicable society at the base of the ruling of this world, working with the Illuminati, with the dark draconian extraterrestrials, the Enlil faction, the Draco reptilian Sikaar and Gyansar from Sigma Draconis, the hooded ones, the ones behind the dark rituals. They're all intertwined and linked together with the Rothschilds banking system, with the petrol cartels, with the dark side of the government, the dark side of the military. Everyone is part of the same black pyramid. But it's truncated now. The deity overlords have been cut. And now, they're headless chickens running. This institution is crumbling down. It's crumbling down. They let you think that it's not, but it is. As the Commander Thorhan Eredion has stated already, many institutions have been infiltrated, many of them, by good people from the Earth Alliance. And these dark organizations are at the moment waking up, realizing that they've been infiltrated, that the good guys played their own game. Yes. And we are seeing things because, this is the apocalypse, the age of revelation. It is now. It is now. I want to draw your attention something very disturbing that happened recently. The 33rd Olympic Games in Paris. Last act of a dying deep state, or a clever plan to expose them. We can wonder. You are shown a plan in plain sight. You are shown that consent gathered by fear or manipulation is how the Dark Ones have been getting away with their horrors on and off world. The theme of this show was the apocalypse. It clearly was. The great reveal of the lies. That's what apocalypse means. Apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world. It means the end of the world of shadow and illusion. The end of the lies, the revelation of the light. And as a result of this shocking opening ceremony, the world is finally reacting and waking up. Is it bad or is it good? Was it planned or not? Who was behind and for what purpose? I won't mention all the details of these Olympic Games, but this ceremony, but some interesting points you can reflect upon. First, we had the 4 nights of the apocalypse. Clearly. And the iconography was so obvious, so evident with the classical representations of them, notably in the tarot and the ancient medieval manuscripts. It was announced straight away what we were about to talk about. The Queen Marie Antoinette decapitated and her blood on the front of the town hall, Hôtel de Ville. What blood was it? The blood of innocent people. To tell you no more. And this blood was the blood of a good bloodline. The revolution, the French Revolution, was maybe not what you think it was. Who was in charge? Who was in charge? The Freemasons were not far. Then you have Indian introduction video that has been going on social media with Zinedine Zidane and this French comedian Jamel Debbouze. You see it's fun at the start, but it ends by children going into the undergrounds of Paris, in the sewer and the undergrounds. And we know Paris has a big network of underground. Well, the children get into a boat driven by a hooded figure. This is death. They are going into the undergrounds towards their death. What were they trying to show us? Still keep in mind, was it showing us images to get our consent? Or was it a clever plan to expose them? I continue. You had this banquet scene with the inversed symbology as the scene of Yeshua and his apostles. You clearly had the Antichrist table. This lady in the center was wearing a peculiar crown round with spikes of light, not rays of light, it was spikes coming out of it. This is, in the classical iconography, the crown of Lucifer. Lucifer is Marduk, the son who betrayed his father and fell down into the darkness to the side of Enlil and the Illuminati and all the dark ones working in the same thing. She's wearing the Lucifer crown. Lucifer means the light bearer or the flame bearer. Okay? How coincidental. How coincidental. The flame bearer, the light bearer. So Lucifer is at that table. Lucifer is androgynous. That now is a qualification of Satan. Satan means the adversary. Satan is Lucifer, is Marduk. The androgynous side means the power of the animus and anima within the soul. It's not about gender. Don't be misled by this. It's not about appearance, about the body. It's about inside. The animus and anima, the masculine and the positive polarities of the human soul, which when they are not polarized, well, the double coil doesn't work. The power doesn't work. And the human is bound, assimilated, and constrained and controlled. That's what the androgynity of Lucifer means. It's not about the body or gender, it's within this power of your soul. You had also on this table a cannibalistic act. A man was served. Why was he blue? The blue blood of the true royalty. We could develop these signs. He wasn't supposed to symbolize Dionysus, the Greek god of lust, because Dionysus wasn't blue. And he was surrounded by grapes, not vegetables, like to be eaten. Behind, there's a disturbing scene that has been really inflaming the world and criticism. It's this child, this little girl, was there. And beside her, there's a dancer, a man in black. I'm going to tell you about him later. This man in black goes to the little girl and he invites her to do this sign. And she does it as head cutting, beheading. What the fuck? Yes? You like it when I swear in French, right? They were showing you child sacrifice to Lucifer and cannibalism, okay? They were showing you that if the child does it, that means the child consents to be eaten and killed. So a certain law is not broken because you do not force someone by murdering them. They agree to the sacrifice. And that's where the wickedness and the evilness of these people is. You also have a character holding a sword, just between Lucifer and the child. I'll let you research about the symbology of all of this because this would require a whole webinar, but make your own research. You will go further than what I can tell you. So now, what is the meaning of all of this? I am bringing you this question again. Was it the last attempt of the deep state to display their power and make you consent? Or was it a clever infiltrated plan to show you what they have been up to? I'll let you decide. This world is changing. A profound shift in the consciousness of humanity is happening on all over the planet, rocking down what you have always known as normality. Their power is declining. This is the true fall of the Roman Empire. The world that I have seen and the world that we are manifesting together for this planet is a world of sovereignty for the human race and all the people of Terra, animal and all. A world of prosperity, of freedom, where our true rights are given back to us and where free energy, free education, and no more enslaving religions. You are free to connect to yourselves, and this world is still already happening now. You are free to connect with yourself, with the power that is in you. And once you are connected to your power, the serpentine coil of power that activates the Kundalini, the apple of knowledge that expands your consciousness. Once you know that, once you experience this, all of this we've been talking about belongs to the past, as it already does. But also you're moving forward to the future, to this new land of freedom. Next week, we will have a Thor Han Eredion, High Commander in the Galactic Federation of Worlds, giving his point of view on all of this and bringing us more information and details on what truly happened in Antarctica when the deep state predator class met with the Earth Alliance a few years ago and in 2021. So we will, and other topic, we will hear what he has to say about all of this, and he will mention also the disclosure plan. So I will find you next week for another groundbreaking, astonishing news.
Star Nation News was brought to you by Elena Danan. Don't miss the latest news every Monday on Elena Danan's channel. Video directed by StefZak.